Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And I decided I will pretty much upload the videos earlier in the day than later in the day, just so that everybody could pretty much, watch the videos throughout the day. I upload at weird times, but it is what it is. Anyways, we are going to be addressing the market. I might address the market once I wake up as well, because things do change drastically within that time period. So overall, when we're talking about the market right now, I'm going to be talking specifically about Hbar. I might make these two separate in regards to Hbar and XRP, because these are two very specific assets that are kind of doing two different things right now. So overall, let's refresh the market. Let's check out what is happening currently. So when we are looking at Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most altcoins, right now Bitcoin is kind of ranging high while Ethereum is ranging higher. The reason for this is because dominance is actually dropping on Bitcoin. We're going to be addressing that as well. Now right now XRP up 3.38%, which is totally fine. 3.75 on the 7-day span. Polkadot was doing incredible things today. A lot of these OG little assets, I shouldn't even say OG because they're really not, but a lot of these major assets like Polkadot, we see, Solana, we see Uniswap. A lot of these will make gains as we do march forward on, especially Link and stuff. I'm very excited for the next 2 months, even 3 months, because we do know that January is fairly exciting as well, but it does taper off as we do get into January. Overall, though, I'm very excited for a lot of these OG assets like, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, Ethereum Classic. Those will have incredible runs. We do see, XLM picking up some speed, up about 8.28%. As you guys do know, I love XLM, but today we're going to be specifically talking about Hbar. It is up about 4.59%, still down about 5.49%, but we do see that the volume is piling in. I think a lot of altcoins right now are getting a lot of money pouring in. I understand that on the 24-hour it's fairly down, but overall, check out the 7-day span in regards to price appreciation. We pretty much bottomed out at around 32 cents, which is totally fine. Now we are ranging higher. Do I think that we will be seeing a pullback? Most likely not, because Bitcoin did hit those nice highs up there, but I will say right now the main concerning factors, and I do understand that there is a lot of lines on the screen. Let me break it down for you. So first and foremost, let's go on the macro time frame to a 4-hour span. Let's check out what is happening up here. So first off, we are hitting some resistance up above here, right? This is actually the main resistance point, but we did hit the top of my demand zone at around 58.5K. The main point where we want to be back to is around 59K up here. We actually want to be back above this point to really flip bullish. Now, overall, when we are talking about this, pretty much resistance level up here at around 58K exact, that is a solid point of resistance. We could actually throw a line on that in itself, but I'm going to actually remove that line as we do zoom out on the daily. But I do want to show you the resistance that is back there, so let me go back and zoom in a little bit here on 58K, right? So right now what we want to really see, and we could see that 58K has given us challenges in the past. This goes back to May 6th. I'm sure that we could even see more if we do go back. So this was actually support. So once we do flip it, we'll most likely flip it into support, which I think is fairly bullish. Once we do see that, we most likely won't see that for a little bit of time. Overall, again, we bounced off of it multiple times back here as well, going back to March before we hit the all-time high. So I'm very excited for what's to happen right now with Bitcoin. So let's go to the daily chart. First off, we already see the resistance points over there. Let me go back. I got to zoom out a little bit. So overall, right now, we retested major support and resistance. We have actually held support fairly good on the macro time frame as well. We actually see that support down here. I understand that we peaked just a little bit below it, but it's totally fine. That's totally okay. It's more so if we actually look here, there's some very strong support here. We actually bounced off of it multiple times back here, even back here on October 9th. Again, this is a very strong point for Bitcoin. I think that this is most likely the bottoming point. We don't have to come back down into this demand zone. It's still possible that we do, because we really want to hold above this point. This is our major point of relief up here. But still, in regards to this, right? We are retesting this resistance. We've already retested it multiple times. If we go to the 1 hour span, we could actually kind of see this being retested multiple times here. We retested it 3 times officially before we actually, got rejected off of it. So we will most likely range to hit that again tomorrow. I really want to see that level be broken officially. I'm waiting patiently for us to actually get into that sign of relief. But guess what? Our altcoins are starting to run because of this. We are actually seeing Bitcoin dominance kind of drop a little bit here, gain some, a little bit of weakness, if you will. I do think that this will flip bullish in a sense of, moving up instead of, bullish in our meaning, which would be going down. But it's going to probably flip bullish and, gain some traction here as Bitcoin does range for the 60K mark. I think that is totally fine. That's totally healthy as well for us. I think that is totally fine. In regards to Hbar, Hbar has been showing signs of strength. We have actually traded at around 36 cents for a little bit of time here. Now, I do want to show you guys the macro time frames here because I think that it's fairly interesting to say the least. Now, right now, and wow, I just said now multiple times, but it is all good. Right now, what we want to see is this flip into major support. I want to see the 36.7 cent level flip major support. We actually see that this is resistance going all the way back to October 1st. There's actually support here. If we do flip it into support, that would be the bullish sentiment point. But this is also very, very high resistance going all the way back to the all-time high. So right now, what I really want to see is this actually hold the line here, going to this, overall accumulation point where we go into an upward accumulation point, which I know a lot of people are going to probably be confused by that, but it is totally fine. We did that in the past. Let's go to the 1 day and let me show you that real quick. So let's throw a few indicators on the screen. We are going to be using moving averages. So let me zoom out here 1 second. So we're actually going to be using the 50, oh, 1 second, the 50, the 100, and also the 200 day. And I'm going to be showing you guys this because this is very important in regards to Hbar. So here we go. Overall, what I want to see personally, and we can actually kind of zoom in here a little bit. So if we go back to where we were before the all-time high. So, throughout this entire time, I was giving you guys daily uploads on the market as well. And I was keeping you guys in the loop on accumulation points on how I was accumulating, which is the idea on once we got to this point, I was very, very bullish. Why? Well, it's very simple. First off, we bounced off of the 100-day MA. This was major support. This was actually that nice 22-cent support that we were ranging on for a fairly long time. And then look at what ended up happening, right? We jumped up above the 200-day MA, rode that train. This is that upward momentum that I was talking about in terms of an upward accumulation. A lot of accumulation was happening during this point before we officially broke out into this nice little buy zone that I was talking about. But we didn't really get to see that on the Bitcoin pullback, but it is all good. We got that nice 31 cents to 33 cents point. But overall, when we're talking about this, right, look at what's ending up happening now. Now we are riding the 50-day MA. 50-day MA is around 34.5 cents roughly. And look at this nice little bouncing point off of this. And this is very strong as well. But when we're talking about the macro time frames, all of these look extremely different. Like I was saying before, again, if we actually look here, we are actually hitting resistance on the 100-day MA. Now, these are hourly candles instead of, the 1-day candles. Again, these are all completely different if we do look here. But overall, on the daily, what I'm seeing is us actually ranging on that nice 50-day MA support, which is fairly bullish for us because I do believe if we could continue that momentum, we could kind of do the same thing that we did back here on the 200-day MA until we gain that nice strength and pretty much pump to the all-time high, which we will most likely see very, very soon as well if this does continue like this, which I do think it will, especially if Bitcoin can kind of just sit stable here while altcoins kind of have their nice little, fun day, if you will. Overall, when we're talking about the Bitcoin price chart for Hbar as well, as you guys do see my lovely drawing here. Now, in regards to this, right, we have to break a lot of resistance. The major resistance on the USD pair, which is around this, 36.7 mark, that is all stemming from this resistance on the Bitcoin price chart. When we're talking about this, this is significant. Let's go to the macro time frame. Look at the major resistance that is at this point. We hit it once, twice, 3 times, and we actually tested it back here 4 times overall. This is major resistance at that 638 overall sat level. We actually even go back to September 4th. Look at on the 4-hour. This is on the 4-hour span. We tested this 4 times. I know that we peaked a little bit above it, but it's totally fine. This is major resistance. Now, I'm not sure if this is major resistance going back to here. It is actually. We bounced off of that. Again, we really need to break that point for major uphill momentum to actually kind of, you know, kick in. That's where we will see some parabolic shifts throughout the market for Hbar, and I think that that's where we will pretty much get that major price appreciation. Like I said, I want to see us back up in this demand zone. This is that 875 to 923 sat level. That is the strong point. That is the point where I think we will be seeing that major influx above this demand zone here. All of this goes hand in hand. This is like peanut butter and jelly. These are working together perfectly. If the Hbar Bitcoin chart reverses strongly from these points down here, which I do think that it will, I 100% agree with that point, and that's what I was waiting for, especially even going back to my tweets on Twitter. I said, you know, I'm waiting for the Bitcoin Hbar price chart to really kind of reversal, so that is where we will get bullish again. It was fairly bearish. I was giving you guys that update. I'm not biased on these investments at all. My emotions are separated. I do not care if Hbar looks good or bad. I will give you guys that news. I told you this looked bearish. Until we've seen the sign of some strength or reversal, that is the point where you want to buy. So once you've seen this here, you kind of want to buy that. But I will say this. Once we break over this point here, this nice resistance, that's where we will see this line being broken. If you look here, right, we had that little bit of a peak on it. That's that little bit of a peak here as well. So right now I am watching the Hbar Bitcoin price chart very closely. I don't really care about the USD pair. Like I said, you know, the USD pair doesn't really matter to me. This is what matters to me. The strength on the Bitcoin pair is what matters to me. And when we look at the inverted scale, I've been showing you guys the inverted scale this entire week. Look at how bullish this is. How could you not be bullish on the Bitcoin Hbar pair? I understand that we are hitting some resistance down here, but overall, you know, check this out, right? We go back to September 8th. Look at this nasty sign of resistance that we hit up here, which led us to have that massive pump all the way to the highs of about 1,100, almost 1,200 sats, which again led us to this all-time high here. I am extremely bullish on Hbar right now. If we can continue the strength that we have, okay, and if we could break this resistance point here, we will have a parabolic shift, because the next major sign of resistance is at the 714 sat level. And just so you guys know, we go back to September 10th. Look at where September 10th is in price, and look at where we are in price right now. Okay, so if we actually break this point here and range to this point up here at about 714 sats, we could expect to be back up in this point here at around 42 cents. I also think that once we get back up into this point, it will most likely be above this. It will actually probably be around the 50-cent level. Trust me, the major gains for Hbar are on their way. We are riding that major 50-day MA level. I think that is very, very bullish. I think that we are pretty much repeating that 200-day MA going all the way back to August. And guys, I could not be any more happier with this. I'm watching Bitcoin very closely tomorrow, especially with the market open, you know, for, you know, stocks and stuff. I know that we have pretty much decoupled away from it, but I'm still watching it fairly closely. I'm also watching Bitcoin dominance very, very closely, as we do see this nasty rejection here, even on the macro time frames. Again, you know, that was a nice little double tap retest up here, and we pretty much rejected it fully. We tried to retest this resistance, but we didn't have enough strength. So I'm actually very happy with that on the 1 hour time frame. Again, we could actually kind of see that we tried to retest this now 3 times, almost 4 times roughly, almost even 5 if you will. So overall, I'm actually very happy with Bitcoin dominance right now with Bitcoin's price chart. I think that if Bitcoin could range while Bitcoin dominance kind of ranges lower, we'll have a little bit of a party on a lot of these altcoins, especially on their Bitcoin pairs, which will obviously bleed back into the USD pair, which will allow us to go much higher on price appreciation. I am very, very excited for what the next 2 months have in store for us. Guys, we are all going to make it. We are all legends in the making. So with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. If you guys do want my personal exit strategies, all that kind of stuff, you guys could definitely check out NCashOfficial.com. But as always, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.